Welcome to the Hard Truth Podcast. This is Jeremy Fouts, and today, finally back in the office to record an episode that I'm going to be talking about paying attention to the voice. And this is something that I've been working on for quite some time as I continue, like I mentioned over and over, mentor men that are really struggling with life and the things that are keeping them back from being able to accomplish greatness. And this is something I've wanted to talk about a little bit more in depth for about a month or so. And as all of you know, I've been traveling with Pearson with baseball. Candace has been traveling with Beckett. They're on the East Coast now for lacrosse. And we've been staying really, really busy as a family, still running the business, the things that we need to do. But, I've had some really heart-to-heart conversations with some guys lately that not only am I sending this message out to them that I've been working with, but for all of us men that struggle with different life situations. And I had a whole nother podcast that I was going to plan to do today talking about, of course, what I'll talk about a lot, which is nutrition, but I chose to go this path and then I'm going to put the other one out next week. But I want you guys to pay attention because I feel like whether you admit it or not, most men are constantly dealing with guilt, regret, depression, shame. Maybe it's time to listen to the voice. And I gratefully was raised in a very good Christian home, and I've got two brothers that are preachers. And even though sometimes I'm not a fan of organized religion, I believe that there is two voices that are in our head on a constant basis. And I'm going to get into talking about those voices and how that they can choose. When you choose the right voice to listen to, it can definitely take you in the right path. It can definitely elevate you to the highest level of self. And I'm here to tell you, no average man will be remembered. We have to choose to be great, to be our best. So let's get dived into the conversation here. Let's go. What up? And the first thing I want to ask you is, how often do you really look inside and do a discovery of who you really are? I mean, when you really, really think about it, it's so important to own up where you are. I'm a big believer that you're not going to fix the situation until you've owned all the responsibilities of I am where I'm in life. I'm where I'm at because of the choices that I've made. And if you really, really do that, then that is the starting point in order for you to totally begin to change your life. So which voice do you listen to? You got the voice inside of you that is continuously telling you, I've got this, I'm strong and I'm capable. I'm the one that's going to change my family's culture forever. I'm going to be the one that makes a difference. I can be motivated and disciplined at the same time. And then you have this other voice that is continuously telling you, or that you got to choose if you're going to listen to. I call it the inner devil voice. And that voice is telling you, I need a break. I need to slow down. What if I fail? What if I look stupid? I'm not capable. See, the devil voice, which will be louder than the inner God voice talking to you, you have got to decide, and I'm going to explain why the devil voice sometimes is louder than the God voice that's telling you what you need to do. But majority of the time, this other voice will be louder, and you've got to decide which one do you listen to. So how do we change this? And this is something that I've really tried to dive into from my 30s all the way to now at 49. And as I'm working with a guy recently from down in South Texas, this has really helped me rediscover some things that I did to overcome listening to the right voice. So let's get talking about this. So you have to get in tune with spirit, guys. Your conscious mind of you knowing what you need to do. Every one of you listening today, You have a conscious mind, and you got to get in tune with the spirit that basically directs you in the right direction. See, your body is the vehicle, and it's capable, but we have to kick the devil voice on the side, and we have to conquer the mind to tell our body which voice we are going to listen to. When we don't listen to the right voice, that's when we have the regret, the shame, the depression, all those things start kicking in. And we got to choose the good, or we got to choose the bad. See, the devil is here, guys. I'm telling you, as your job as a man, the devil voice is here to keep us down. He's here to keep us off the path that we need to be on. And that's the way the world is designed. I mean, in heaven, there's not going to be a lot of temptations, all these different things, but the world that has been given to us is not easy, and that's just the way it's designed. So we have got to make sure that we are in tune with the Spirit, and our conscious mind is aligned with the Spirit, that we are going to be choosing to listen to the good voice. So how can we take our game to the next level? How can we change this? So we are human, right? We are greedy. We are selfish. I mean, we are individuals that are known to let our emotions be controlled by our feelings. And when we don't feel like eating right, we don't feel like working out, then if I don't have the life that I want, then I become jealous and more greedy. And if I don't get what I want, then we get scared and we get envious and we have hate on those that have more. Then we say others got lucky, or did they earn it? See, the ones majority of the time that you look at them and they have a discipline to have a good body, they have a discipline to have good relationships, they have a discipline to make more money, they have a discipline to have that life maybe that you want. Has it ever dawned on you that they have earned it? Has it ever dawned on you that they chose to listen to the right voice? And that's one thing that I really want you to discover inside yourself. See, we can't be mad because we didn't. We have to separate ourselves from what we want based on what we can become. We have to kill off the carnal man and rise up to a higher self. The Bible, I love the book of Proverbs. It's very, very good at giving us examples of what we need to do, and letting us know that these examples are saying this is what we need to become. See, the devil speaks in what you feel like you want. I want the hot dog, the pizza, the Doritos, the soda, the beer, the wine, the liquor. I want to stay in bed cuddled up to my wife. You want to skip your workout. You want to spend more money than you should to show off on social media. But the God's voice, it speaks in what you should do. See, the devil voice is more want. I want to have the nice car. I want to be able to eat the foods I want to eat. I want to skip my workout. God's voice speaks in what you should do. This is a peaceful mind, is what I call it. We have so many distractions. Number one is our phone that keeps us from connecting with this inner God voice. And it speaks in a quieter, more subtle voice that tells us what we need to do and what we should do to be better. You should get up and work out. You should take care of business and make more money. If you don't, you feel horrible and have that regret. Then's when you become greedy. Then's when you become depressed. Then's when you make the wrong decision. See, God is trying to tell you with that quiet voice, get up. I made you in my likeness. You were meant to be more. And I created a version of you that I want to see happen. I want you to choose hard over easy, because each time you do that, your life becomes better. But each time you choose easy over hard, your life becomes worse. I see this, and as I was talking to a guy this week, he's like, man, I did 6 days really, really good. And then I went to this barbecue and I made some wrong choices. And what happens is our mind starts telling us, yeah, we did good for a few days, therefore I deserve to not listen to what I need to do, but what I want to do. In order for you to become great, you've got to ask yourself, do I have the discipline to listen to that quieter voice and say, I'm going to choose delayed gratification? Even if I want to do this, I need to do this. And if I do this because it's harder, then I become better. See, now I'm asking you to choose the hard. To get up and work out, choose wisely. What goes in your mouth and your mind, to stop scrolling on social media in the mornings when you know you should be at the gym, picking up a book and studying, and get up in life, and you know you should live you should live to be the man that your kids will respect, your wife will look up to, and others would want to honor. See, I know a lot of you are sitting there thinking, well, Jeremy, this sounds good, but what, how do I do that? You know, I mean, there's some mornings that I get up and I'm sore and I'm tired, and, you know, I just want to choose the easy. I just want to choose the hot dog. I just want to choose the foods that's not as good. You know, how do I choose the easy, the stronger the devil's voice is, and it's louder and quieter will be the inner God's voice. How come it's just not the opposite? How come the God's voice, the inner voice that I know I should be listening to, how come it's not louder than the easy devil's voice? And here's why. When what happens is in our mind and the way that we process things, the inner voice that we should not be listening to is louder when we keep choosing that voice. The times that we keep choosing the easy and not getting our workouts, the time we keep choosing not to put the right things in our mouth, the times that we keep choosing, then all of a sudden that louder voice is what's feeding us. And I can challenge you guys today to listen to this, to really pay attention and shift and give your attention to what you need to do, not what you want to do. I need to lift. I need to take care of business. I need to educate the mind on personal growth. I need to do all those things. And then what's going to happen when you get to that barbecue, you know what you need to do. So you're going to grab a Topo Chico. You're going to get some protein with not a lot of carbs. And you're going to choose to go home early and grab you a book or listen to a podcast. And the next day, that God's voice is going to even be louder than what that inner devil voice is. So you got to understand that when this keeps happening and you keep listening to the wrong voice, that's when you become fat. That's when you become broke. That's when you become dependent on alcohol. You're addicted to bad foods. And you keep telling yourself, I just want to take the edge off by having this drink or having these comfort foods. And then your body looks horrible just because you want to and you know what you should be doing. Quit limiting your life that you're choosing to do the things that you want to do, because it's just going to make you feel like shit. I promise you. Start listening to what you need to do. When God's voice gets stronger, then it becomes more motivating for you. Your convictions become more. When you have the choice to choose easy over hard, God is within you, and the devil wants to knock you off track. You have to stay the course. But really and truly, grab a drink of water here. How do we do this? Why is this so hard? You said, Jeremy, help me out here. You know, you're 49 and I'm not perfect, guys, and I've made a lot of mistakes and continue to. But how have you stayed the course when you really figured out these two voices? How have you stayed the course, running businesses, having a family, you know, doing all these different things? You know, how have you done this? What the biggest motivator for me is, and this is something I want all of you to write down and try, it's who are truly the most important people I don't want to let down. And for me, my biggest accomplishments is not going to be my business core vive. It's going to be what the example I leave for my two boys, Pearson and Beckett. See, I know that I have to be an example of great humanity, of what a real man should be like, and who follows God on an aligned path, because you cannot kid yourself. And I'm mainly talking to men today because that's who I've been working with, but this is the same message for the women that's listening. Your kids see you, and you cannot lie to your kids. You can't tell them that you're getting up early and working out and you're not doing it. They see you. You can't tell your kids I'm going to get in shape and you're shoving crap down your mouth. You can't tell your kids that you don't have an addiction to something, or you don't have a dependency on something, but you keep doing the same things over and over. Your kids see you, and what your words are telling them is you're not the man or woman that you need to be. And one thing that has really, really helped me is saying, I am going to keep my word to myself, and I'm going to keep hitting my workouts. I'm going to keep eating clean. I'm not letting a substance control me. And I'm going to continue to grow my business. I'm going to continue to grow my relationships. I'm going to continue to do good in my community. And I'm going to keep my surroundings clean when they are, because your kids are going to learn more for your actions than what you're telling them. And I want my kids to bring more value after I'm gone. I want them to say, you know what, here's what I've learned from my dad. If I take care of my business, I listen to the right voice, and I continue to grow my relationships, and I continue to develop my mind, then I have something greater here for me than what my dad left for me to be able to accomplish. So it's the man that wants to rise up and be the man, not a loser. And here's the way it works. When you win once, I'm telling you, it makes you want to win again. And you become more confident, and you're going to become that person you want to be. Your kids have a live feed on everything you are doing. So my thing is, for you dads, go get jacked, go get some abs, go get out of debt, build a business, do something spectacular. And you say, okay, Jeremy, I'm ready to get realigned for my wife and my kids, but what do? You go to work and you choose hard over easy. You create the body and mind you need to create and choose God's voice over the devil's voice. You taught to self what you should be doing, and choose what you need to do over what you want to do. Because when it all sums up, when you do the things you want to do, you are an average man. And no average man will ever do something that will be remembered. Guys, this podcast, whether it means something to you, I hope it means something to the few that I've been working with. To let them know, man, that all of us have these two voices in our mind. All of us have these choices of choosing hard over easy. And yes, it might not always be the case that we make the right decisions. But if we're aligned with spirit and our conscious mind, you know what's right. You know what's going to create the man that you need to become, or the woman you need to become. And my advice to you is choose to listen to the right voice. The one that's going to create the man or the woman that you need to become. The one that's going to give you that peaceful mind. The one that's going to help you become that person that is remembered after you're gone. The one that's going to allow you to leave that legacy for your kids, that they're going to say, my dad has taught me how to be a man. My dad has taught me how to be a woman. My dad has taught me how to be the person that God intended me to be. So, guys, thank you for giving me the time to share the podcast with you today. I encourage all of you to discover that inner person that you want to become and paying attention to the voice, the right voice that's going to help you become the person that you was meant to be. Share with your friends or family on this podcast, guys. Follow us on YouTube. We are continuing to grow as a podcast, but only because of your help, and we appreciate the support that you guys are giving us. Next week, I'm going to dive into a little bit of nutrition that I've been wanting to go in a little bit more in depth and not only talk about the macros, but the micronutrients and what we need. But today I felt compelled to share with you something that's really been on my mind as I've been working with a lot of you that are struggling with these two voices in your head. Have an awesome day. Thank you for listening to the Hard Truth Podcast.